Welcome to the podpunkshow.
How you doing there, Aaron?
I'm doing okay. I'm all by myself. Charlie's sleeping and my wife she went back to work on light duty because she was hurt. They found her like a position for the meantime. So she's now working evenings.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm happy to hear that she's back and out. You know, that's a good sign.
I got the baby monitor just in case. I don't know if you can hear the...
Oh, yeah. I can hear a little bit of like a nursery rhyme there. So you're basically like on call right now.
Yeah, this is my doctor pager, which probably just means that somebody peed.
It sounds like a really, really bad 80s comedy. You being home alone with a baby.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm pretty good at dad stuff.
Yeah.
Dad stuff's not hard in like knowing what to do. Knowing what to do with kids is actually pretty easy. It's hard in that it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't think it would be the trope of like you being like, oh no, I'm Mr. Mom, I don't know what to do. I just see like you dressing the baby up like a Blues Brother and like trying to take it out and do something and you get into trouble that way.
Well, speaking of which, so in my wife's car, we have Sirius XM.
Oh, yeah.
And they have like different
Very jealous,
decades,
by the way.
Like, yeah, it's great. We have the different decade like pop playlists. So like the 70s and they also have like the 2000s.
Cool.
Which is what we usually listen to because we're old and we now just listen to the music from high school like old people.
So it's like basically just like retro 2000s. Like what do you get? Like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys?
No, not Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys was way gone by then. There's some Britney Spears.
Is it all pop?
Yeah, it's all pop. It's like T-Pain. It's like, it's
like
John,
cool music.
Usher.
Like cool high school music. Okay.
Yeah, our cool high school music. The kids now is literally oldies.
Let's face it, our cool high school music is the cool high school music.
I don't know, dude. I actually prefer like stuff older than... Because I listen to that and I can only listen to it for like an hour. Then I'm like, if I hear another goddamn Usher song...
Once you hear one Usher song, you hear all Usher songs.
But speaking of Charlie, we were listening to... It's called Pop 2K. We were listening to that in the car and Soulja Boy comes on.
Oh, that's a classic.
And my daughter loves to sing, but like she can't talk very well, and she can't do like when they talk fast in a song, so she'll like kind of like mumble, and then whenever they like hold like a oh at the end of a line, she'll sing along with that.
Oh, that's awesome! That's so cute.
But like Soulja Boy is perfect for that because it's like Soulja Boy up in the watch me roll.
Oh yeah, that's perfect for her. She can like just mumble through it and stumble and just keep falling and landing it.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing because literally my fucking toddler daughter's in the backseat going you. And my wife is not amused.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird moment.
Oh, but it's amazing. But then she
remember when you used to do that, Janet?
Then she starts singing, but also because the song goes, Superman that ho! And then I'm like, we probably...
Yeah, exactly.
Probably shouldn't teach her to say ho.
How does that feel like when you see like a baby, you know, it's a part of you, but now it starts doing funny things like that? How does that feel? Is it like a weird moment?
Oh, I love it. I drive my wife crazy because I don't discourage my daughter from swearing.
Oh, cool. Like that's pretty progressive.
The other day, I was doing something. I was trying to open something. Like it was like a fucking bag of cereal inside the box, and like I couldn't get it, but I didn't want it to go everywhere. So I'm like fighting with it. I'm like, this fucking shit. And literally, I just hear behind me, "Fuck shit." And now she says it all the time, but she doesn't say it well enough that anybody else would know that's what she's saying. But I know she's just walking around going, "Fuck shit." It's
so that word too is like just like I love how like babies just pick right up on it. There's like something about that word. Like we just picked like really good like curse words. You know what I mean? What is the hard consonants?
Yeah, that's the thing about curse words. And that's why, like, when I was 12, like, I'm not, like, saying it was okay, but, like, I was 12 to 15, which for me would have been 2001 to 2004. Like, all I did was call everyone I knew gay.
Yeah, that was the word.
Or the worst word for it, until I realized, oh, that's like hate, because I would never say the N word, but I never thought of like calling someone for like the same thing. Like replacing words like that in your lexicon is hard because a lot of times like the one that's hard still is like, it's so hard for me not to call or be like, don't be a fucking pussy. Cause like I know
it just comes out sometimes.
Well, it has such like, I know it's like a super misogynistic term, but it's also such a like it so perfectly conveys what I'm trying to tell. Like,
it does. I think the word it's become something more. You know what I mean? It's more. It's like it's a feeling. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a feeling. It's like when you open up a good album and all of a sudden you're transported back to 1992. You know what
I mean? But there's no good like replacement. Like retard is another one. Like I don't say that anymore.
Yeah,
but it took a long time to find because it's not the word itself. It just has the right mouthfeel and the right like explosiveness.
Yeah. It's got a good rhythm to it.
It's like dummy. Dummy doesn't feel as good to say.
That's like, you remember when Blink came out with the George Carlin song, the words you can't say on television?
Yeah.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat. That used to, oh man, I used to love that stuff. It's so weird. Like, you never outgrow it.
There's only one word in that song that actually offends me that I is a word I legitimately hate, and that's the word
What's
turd.
that?
I don't like the word turd.
Really? That one rubs you the wrong way?
Yeah, I also don't like poop. Like I don't like the.
So you got like a fecal thing.
It's not even fecal. I don't like the, like, for some reason there's something about, yeah, maybe it is a bathroom thing. I don't know. Like, I don't mind shit. Like, that doesn't bother me. But like I can't even say it. Turd. I hate it. It's just like, I just hate funny, that fucking word.
That's so funny.
Like, just say shit. Weird. Just say shit.
What do you think that's attached to? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. Like, I don't mind filthy words. There's just like those words.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I hate the word fart too. Like, it.
Yeah, you like a good joke too. It can even be a little raunchy as long as it's constructed right. Like you right. Appreciate the art.
I don't mind something that's like offensive or not PC.
Yeah.
As long as I know who's saying it isn't like dog whistling.
Yeah, it's not coming from a bad
hate.
place. Yeah, they're actually trying to be funny with it. Yeah, no, that's great. So what do you got going on, man? Anything new with you?
No, not too much, man. My life is pretty plain.
Pretty plain Jane?
Yeah.
I right before the show, because like you were running a little bit late. You got a lot going on with your audio sides. You got some new programs. You got some big things coming up. Aaron's going to be able to do some cool things. So I'm excited.
Working on it.
He's working hard.
I even wrote a little like if we ever do an ad on acoustic guitar, because I have your acoustic right now. I actually wrote like little like old timey like background music for an ad.
Oh, I can't wait to use that. We might even just make a fake ad one day and just put it in.
Can I just play you just a little tiny bit of it?
Yeah, let me hear it. It's like, come on down to the Pod Punk Show. That's awesome. Some good old tunes.
You know, my grandfather fought in 7 world wars, but he always appreciated a good Casper mattress.
Yeah, exactly. Casper mattresses because it makes his back feel all right because his back got blown out in the Great War.
A mattress so soft you can't even feel the shrapnel.
Yeah, exactly. And the ad is like, instead of the P underneath it and the princess keeps feeling it, it's the soldier and he doesn't feel the shrapnel on the bottom.
Back in his day, they called it shell shock. Now we know it as PTSD, but you can sleep right through it on a Casper mattress.
Yeah, sleep it off. It's going to be fine. That's funny, man.
Just this twangy, bluesy acoustic guitar underneath.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I can't wait to use that. That's going to be a great day. I was, there's a band that I really like, and normally I would have told you to, listen to their song beforehand so we could talk about it, but I literally heard it right before we were going to start the show because we were a little delayed. So I just was like, oh, what can I do? And you ever heard of the Wonder Years?
I think so. That sounds real familiar.
Yeah. They are like, at one point they got like pretty big. They're a really legit band. They're out of Pennsylvania, just outside of Philly, like the Philly area. But I saw them live in Irving Plaza once in the city. And they are awesome, dude. They're like super pop punk, but sometimes in albums a little bit like post-hardcore or hardcore melodic. Like they kind of switch it up, but like they do, like it's all based around pop punk. But they came out with a new song today. They're one of my favorite bands. Like I absolutely love them. Their singer, he's great. He's very theatrical.
Oh yeah, I have Come Out Swinging on my playlist.
Yes, Come Out Swinging is one of my favorite songs from them. That's like, it's such an anthem. It's such an anthem song, especially like if you're in a band. It's all about like being on the road and just being sick of it.
Yeah, and Melrose Diner. Melrose Diner is also. I just have a giant playlist of like 1,200 songs of like, oh, I like this on Spotify. I never look up a band. Like you're like, they're from this part of the country, and I'm like, oh, dude, like I'm trying to think of like my favorite bands. Like I don't know where anyone's from. I get into that because like I sometimes like it's important to like kind of what they are, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But there was this guy, the lead singer. His name is Dan Campbell. He has a side project that I think is kind of cool. I wanted to tell you about real quick. It's called Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. Have you ever heard of it? No, but it's a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. So basically what it is, though, is he turned into Aaron West. He's a conceptual character, and he put out a full length. The full length tells the story of his divorce, and it's about like a young guy that moved to Brooklyn that was following his dreams, and one day he comes home and his wife's being cold to him, and then next thing his sister's calling him and wants to know what happened, and he finds out they're getting a divorce. And it's just this whole, like, it's really, really cool. It could almost be like a Broadway show. It's just like, I was listening to it. I used to go for long walks and I would listen to it, and it's just so good. And it's just like, this guy is so talented between the Wonder Years and then his side projects. It's just such a good band.
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out. Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And like, he's using like, trumpets, and he's got a whole orchestra.
I don't trust you to know what instruments they are.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to me with that aspect, but there's a bunch.
I want to pitch you a game for us to play on like these random or like these like freeform shows.
Okay.
I want to bring little snippets or audio clips of different orchestral instruments, and you have to guess what it is.
Okay, I would love to play that game. It's going to be awesome.
And if it goes bad enough, I'll give you options to choose from. Like if you're like way off, I'll give you
just
like,
make sure you have like whatever the instrument that goes womp 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 womp, like ready to go, because I'm not going to know any of them.
That's a trombone.
That's a trombone. Okay, cool. I was going to say saxophone.
No, saxophone's honkier.
I was going to say tenor saxophone. Don't be so mean like that and call saxophone honky.
Ooh, tenor saxophone, not a baritone.
Yeah. No, not a baritone.
Not that low. A little lower, but not as low as a baritone.
Yeah. I mean, baritones are like one of the ones that look like a stretched out saxophone, right? It's like somebody put it and they just kept stretching it in Photoshop, made it longer.
Yeah. Alto saxes are like normal saxophone. Tenors are a little bigger, and baritones just look ridiculous.
You know what I love? It's not ska, but it's kind of from the same spot. It's like when you see those subway street bands and like they have like all the deep instruments, the deep horns, and they get out there like boom, boom.
There's a huge scene for that in New York, like Too Many Zoos. Too Many Zoos is great.
Oh yeah, I forget. Like I think it's called like Sydney Doo-wop or something. I forget. It's not that. There's a name for it though, and it's like something from Australia. It's the type of like funk it is, or it's based off of. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
Australian funk. That's
of all things, right? You would never imagine. And who knows? Like I could be completely wrong. Like that's actually
a game show.
Pretty good chance.
Where you take like really talented songwriters who are like really versatile, like not like necessarily people in bands, but like studio guys are like extremely talented songwriters and musicians. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like Chopped or like a cooking show where you just throw like fucking.
Oh, you just throw them together?
You throw them challenges of like, all right, we need you to write an Australian funk song.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And your secret ingredient is you have to use like, I don't know, like a xylophone.
Yeah, you have to add like a xylophone or a didgeridoo.
But you don't tell them that until like the last 10 minutes, and now you have to have xylophone be a major piece of this like arrangement.
Or you could be like themed and give them like a didgeridoo and not tell them what's up until the very last minute. Now you're like, who can play a didgeridoo? And then you got to figure it out. One of them's talented enough to figure it out.
Oh, and you know who should host it besides us? Scott Bradley,
obviously.
The dude from Postmodern Jukebox.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know about what they do? Like
I was gonna say the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, they do stuff like "Creep" by Radiohead and like 1940s jazz and like different shit like that.
Oh, that's
like
cool. Then they should definitely
and like 20s swing.
We should do this. We could make it like an internet show or something.
That's copyright John Bryan and
copyright John
I'm just
Bryan.
always tired. TM Podpunk Show.
You're just always tired. We're all always tired, Aaron. That's no excuse.
My daughter was born in 2018, and I haven't felt rested since like 6 months before then.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to say you have not had a full night's rest in a very, very long time.
It's not even time. Like if I could sleep for 8 hours, then I just wake up being like, nope, not enough.
Nope, no, didn't do it. There was no gas still in the tank.
You just get used to it. I'm like, one day I'll just be like 50 and be like, or like my daughter will go to college. I'm like, why do I have all this energy?
Yeah, you're not going to know what to do yourself when that happens.
So I know you did something interesting this weekend. The reason why we're recording on Monday instead of Saturday.
Oh yeah, I was very, very lucky. I was fortunate enough to get tickets to Saturday Night Live. So that was cool.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, exactly. Saturday Night Live. So get this, as we get to 30 Rock, where it's taped, where NBC's headquarters are, and I went to the dress rehearsal. So they do a show before the show. The show comes on at 11:30. The dress rehearsal is the exact same show, but they do it at 8 p.m. So a couple hours before, and it is pretty cool because like the show isn't put together yet. So like they're still like testing it out. It almost looks like the show 30 Rock, where like everyone's still walking around. Lorne Michaels is in like all the, like he comes in between the skits and he's always watching, and you can like, he's giving notes and stuff. So like they still haven't decided what the full show was. But we get to NBC, and right as I'm going up the elevator, Lorne Michaels, is walking in, and they stopped us, and Lorne Michaels is standing right in front of us.
I don't get into the elevator with other people.
Dude, yeah, no, I froze, Aaron. I had enough time to take out my camera. I even thought about it. I go, you could take a photo of Lorne Michaels right now. You could take a photo of Lorne Michaels right now. Take a photo of Lorne Michaels right now. And then he was gone.
As the doors close.
Yeah, I literally couldn't. I never get like that, man. I can usually sneak it of the best of them. I have so many creepy celebrity like photos because the New York thing is, you know, you don't acknowledge them. You have to be cool.
Well, that's the thing is I've seen very few famous people in New York, but I would bet you, like, when I die and go to heaven, if you like reverse through my life, I'm sure I've probably walked right past someone like super famous because
you 100% have.
I don't look at other people's faces when I'm walking in New York.
Right, I do. I'm like a CIA like drone out there. I'm just scanning faces. I'm looking at my phone or my shoes or that dude that looks shifty. Nope. I'm like autistic. Just making eye contact. You know
what I love about New York though? I was actually back in Manhattan yesterday, and there was this dude walking. I had the green light. I was driving, but I still had to stop because someone like crossed anyway. But like they did it with like I don't give a fuck. And like I turned to Jan and go, I don't know if that dude's homeless or if that's what fashion's supposed to be like in 9 months.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going.
Like, is that scarf for safety or fashion?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be like that. I think like we're gonna be all like post-apocalyptic. You know?
Well, in that same vein, I thought about this today because I saw somebody in a Halloween costume for some reason today. But I remember like the most New York moment for me when I first moved there, like 5 or 6 years ago, was I didn't realize it was Halloween on Halloween, but I also didn't realize it until halfway through the day because I'm like, I've seen people in costume probably throughout the day, but it didn't even register as weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you work by like Times Square, like people all the time.
Yeah,
you'll walk down an alley and like Mickey Mouse will just be like peeing.
Right. Because here's the thing. I don't notice what people are wearing. I only notice when people do shitty things like hold the subway doors.
Oh, yeah. Whenever it's like, you know, we're all narcissists in New York. Whenever it affects us, then we know.
I once left an open mic at like 1 a.m. and I was on the one train home when I still lived on 181st Street. And some dude gets on. I'm like, it's me and like 3 other people in the train, like a whole train car. Some dude wearing literally a child's Paw Patrol t-shirt. Like, so it's almost like a halter top is so tight, carrying a box of plastic spoons, like a big fucking giant box of like 10,000 plastic spoons gets on.
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? Good for you. You didn't hold the subway doors and you didn't fucking make me like, you didn't block the stairs when I tried to get off.
That's
like,
a win.
Go for you, dude.
You're a professional. Yeah. Thank you, sir. There should be more people like you out there.
all I'm saying is live your truth, but not in my way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care about anything else about you as long as you don't hold subway doors or like stand on the
jump
stairs.
In front of a train during rush hour. Like
one time in the M&M store, I was in the M&M store because my wife's parents were here, not because I go to the fucking M&M store first off. Mm-hmm. No New Yorker actually goes to Times Square on purpose. You might have to go through Times Square, but you don't go to Times Square.
Yeah, you'll run through it. Yeah, it's just a crowded mall you're running through.
Yeah, it's like an obstacle course of fucking people from like Germany, China, and Kansas.
Yeah.
You just have to go around.
Plus the naked cowboy.
Yeah. I forgot about the naked cowboy. I hope he didn't get COVID.
No, he's still there. I saw him a day ago. He's still out there.
So now does he wear a hat, thong, and mask?
No, he's still naked.
No mask?
No mask. Still naked.
Disgusting.
He's like one of those Republicans. He's a cowboy. He's not going to wear a mask.
That's true. If you have a cowboy hat, you don't exactly believe in science. You can send all your hate to John Bryan on Twitter. Because I said that. Anyway, I was in the M&M store and there's this fucking super like Midwestern people, because I'm from the Midwest, I can say this. We were on an escalator, they were in front of me, and they're like talking to each other, and like this is a New York escalator, so like every step has a person on it. They get to the top and they stop and keep talking as like people are still coming up. So I literally had to like fucking shove them because I'm like, you don't understand. This keeps moving. Like, we don't have somewhere to go except down or through you. And through you is a lot less worse than down.
There is no stopping. I mean, that's the worst is like if people just like literally when you're walking around, if you just treat it like you're on a highway, there's no problems.
Exactly. If you need to check your phone, you find like a fire hydrant.
Gotta go in the shoulder.
Something already in the way. It's blocking like the river of people.
Yeah, exactly.
So Lorne Michaels.
Oh yeah, exactly. So where were we? Sorry. So Lorne Michaels. I'm like, it's Lorne Michaels, dude. Like, can you like it's him? Like I was like, holy crap. So we get up there and we go through security And the building is gorgeous. And like I'm in an area of the building like they don't let like I've never seen, like I've never been actually there. And we wait through security and then we finally go into the studio and they have us all like socially distanced. So like it was every group was by themselves. So I had a group of 8. I got a random phone call from an NBC production assistant like earlier last week. He's like, "Hey, can like you bring 8 people?" And I was like, "Yeah, we can go." So we're there. It's like a group of 8 people. And the guest was Isa Rae, and she was really, really funny. You ever seen anything she's done? She has a couple shows.
Only her episode this weekend. I watched it. That's
I didn't really know much about her either, but she's got like a show on Netflix. It's apparently really, really funny. Everybody I was with knew about her.
The only thing I watch on Netflix is My Little Pony, which by the way is incredible. Yeah, right? Netflix is just now the My Little Pony app.
And then the musical guest was Justin Bieber. So the entire audience was there for him.
Is he still the like go-to hot one for?
I don't know, man. Like every girl that was in between 36 and 21 there was screaming every time he walked around.
Oh, man.
Every time he walked around. He's weird too because he's like short. He's like only like he's not 5'1", but he looks like he's only like 5'1", but he's really muscular. He's really in proportion, but he's just tiny.
Right? You feel like he bulked up because that's the only thing he could do to look bigger.
Yeah, it's like almost like they froze him. Like when like you hit like you had like your 17-year-old physique, like they were just like, "You're done, Justin." Like, zoop, and then they just stopped him. Like that's it. Like he doesn't go any further.
Well, he looked like 15 for like 7 years.
He did. He's got like a baby face. He's very good though. I mean, he didn't have a band or anything. It was pre-recorded music, but he was singing live and he's good. Like if I walked in a bar and it was karaoke going on and this kid was in the corner, I'd be like, wow, he should get a record deal. Like it was good.
That's amazing. Like I always hear that the studio is smaller than you think it is.
Oh yeah. So when you walk in, it's incredible. They just have like sets on top of sets. So there's the main part that looks like Grand Central Terminal. That's where the guest will come out and they do their monologue at the beginning.
Right.
And then to the left of that, you have the musical stage, and those are the only 2 sets that actually stay. They're very, very small. Like think like your bedroom. Like it's like that's how big like the musical stage is. It's not much bigger than a bedroom.
Well, because I know that where they do the monologue, the band behind them, like it's
I want to talk about.
It's a depth of field trick, but like if you really look closely, they're very close to each other.
Oh yeah. They're literally like on top of each other, and they just stack the set so it looks like it's way deeper than it actually is. And then all the sets that you see, like every sketch has a complete set made up, and they just have it like in a corner, and they have another set on top of it, and they'll do that set and they rip it down. The other one's behind it. It's so cool how they do it. It's just like, it's like an orchestra, dude. It just keeps going. And
I watched all the behind the scenes things of that. They had on YouTube, they had like a whole series of like, this is our graphics department. This is like our camera crew, and their camera crew is like insane. How they do like the big pan shots and they pull up.
Yeah. They just are great. And so when you're in the audience, you're not actually on the set. The audience is like in the bleachers, like around it. So like they're underneath you, like there's a whole garage like underneath you, and they're bringing out like trucks and everything. And the band, the house band, dude, like, oh my God, you would have loved it.
They're like killers, dude.
They are absolutely incredible. They are absolutely incredible. So when you get there, the first thing you do is the house band plays their entire music for the show. And they got about like probably like 25 to 30 minutes because they play all the commercial breaks, the entire commercial break.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. So like they come out there and like that's kind of how they warm up. So like you sit down and like we haven't had live music in forever. So like everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And you just get to watch these world-class musicians just like play around. It was incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. And then after they're done with that, Kenan Thompson comes out dressed up like a 70s game show host, and he does a whole song. I forget what song it was. It was Take Me Higher or something. He's got like backup dancers, and the house band does it. And I was like, is this like a weird like sketch or something? But no, it's just Kenan Thompson to warm up the crowd. Like he likes to perform like a 1970s funky song. It's so
he can
good.
Get warmed up.
Yeah, it's almost like when he does that "What's Up with That" character, where like they break into like a 5-minute like "What's up with that? What's up with that?" Yeah, and so then Michael Che came out, and Michael Che was going to do he does some warming up for the crowd, but he wasn't really feeling it. He did like 2 jokes, and he was like, "F it, let's just start the show," and that was it. The show just starts.
That's head writer power right there, and you're like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, exactly. You just come out, and you're like, what the fuck? I don't need to do this. Even during the performances, Lorne Michaels is making changes and stuff. You'll see him like yeah.
He goes up on the set and he like points at shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there was a time where they were taking too long and he goes over and whispers in the production. He's right below us. So he whispers, he's like, tell the band to play. And then the guy's like, tell the band to play. And the next thing the music starts playing, I'm like, Lorne Michaels just made the music start. It's like so cool, dude.
He's the fucking like war general of like fucking 5th Infantry.
I was just thinking of all the comedians that have been in that place.
Everybody,
so
dude.
Crazy.
Fucking Steve Martin.
So crazy.
Martin Short.
Oh yeah.
George Carlin was the first ever host.
Yeah, I love the first episode. I watch that all the time. I watch the first episode like once a year.
Oh really? I watched the like I've been like weirdly enough in like the last week, like YouTube's just like, you want to watch SNL clips? And I'm like, yeah. So I've probably seen like 300 SNL videos this week.
You know, Carlin wanted to be the actual host. Like he wanted to be a permanent host.
Oh really?
Yeah, Lorne was like, nah, I don't think so.
You gotta go back and you gotta go to be the voice for Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, exactly. And then it went to what? Ringo Starr after that? After he died? Or after he retired?
Yeah, after he quit.
Oh yeah, before. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, man.
Ringo Starr, George Carlin had the same job. That's the weirdest fucking thing in the world to say out loud.
I know, right? It's like so weird too, because back when I used to watch Thomas the Engine, I remember both of them, but I don't remember, like, I didn't know like what their connection was. Like, I just knew like that was the conductor and then that was the other conductor.
Right.
Like I knew like my mom would be like, oh, Ringo's the conductor. Like, but I had no idea like Ringo was important or anything.
One played drums for the Beatles. The other one has one of my favorite jokes of all time, which is, you ever notice the people who hold up pro-life signs outside clinics are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place?
Yeah. No, he's great, man. One of the best writers of all time.
Oh yeah. He falls into like that genre of comic like Mulaney, like where he's just well written. He's a great performer, but it's all in the words and the delivery.
Yeah, it's very sharp. Yeah, he's got no fat on anything. No fat on anything.
Because like, you know, like every like word in his jokes in his special like was written down. Where like Bill Burr, I feel like he doesn't sit and like write out word for word the jokes. Yeah,
no, Bill Burr is doing more jazz up there. Like he's got notes, but he's just got to keep a rhythm.
Right.
It's it was great, man. It was a really, really good experience. And then you know, that was it. Like there was a bunch of sketches that they don't actually use for the live show. So they're kind of like trying to gauge like what they're going to do. And then Weekend Update was really cool to see. Weekend Update's way longer than the actual show. The one for the dress rehearsal is like almost like a half hour long.
Right. And then they cut a bunch down.
Yeah. They're trying to figure out like what works, what doesn't. A lot of Chase stuff that night wasn't working. He wasn't feeling it. He was like getting really pissed.
Do you imagine if your job was to actually read the fucking news?
No, I can't. I mean, I did it for when I was in high school. I was like the Friday news guy. I had a talk show, like the actual.
Oh, really?
News. Yeah. In my TV production class, they made me the anchor.
Did you have a catchphrase or a sign off or anything?
Yeah, I like it. It was so unimportant to me that I don't even remember it. Like I just remember like we got in trouble because we were too like over the top. Like one episode we were just being extra douchey. So like we were like literally making sure like if somebody like gave us like an announcement, we were like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like we were just like way over the top for everything. And they were like, yeah, you can't do that anymore. Just be normal.
I'm so going to try to find clips of this, dude. You have no idea.
There's no clips. I can guarantee you there's no clips.
Here's the thing. I believe you, but I also have faith in YouTube.
I mean, if the only way that these would be uploaded, Aaron, would be like the old TV production guys, like we're just like bored one night and uploading them.
I'm going to look because I know where you went to school. So I'm going to fucking...
You're going to look it up. All right. Well, if you can find it, I would love that.
I'll call the fucking school. I don't give a shit. I'm in quarantine and I need content.
So they actually have a pretty funny story about that. So I did TV production in, I think it was my junior year. It might have been my senior year, but I'm pretty sure it was my junior year. And the guy that did TV production, he had kind of like a cult of personality. So like all of the really, really gothic, almost like the kids that were like kind of like you would think like Columbine shooters. Like they all were like in like TV production, like 3, 4, and 5. Like, you know what I mean? And
the kids who started smoking at 12.
Yeah. Like the trench coat mafia type. Like that's like they were weird. Like all the guys are like Tool, like the band Tool, like that's them. And so they're all in TV production. And basically when you took TV1, if the TV production guy and his crew liked you, you kind of got like tapped on the shoulder and you were told like to apply for number 2. And then you got into number 2 and then you were in the cult. And like he kept like these like guys and like they were like really close knit with him. I got tapped and I didn't go up and he was very, very, very offended.
Well,
but
we
he
can't be
actually,
doing that.
Aaron, like he would actually like get mad at me. Like if I after that, like if I had to go to the class and ask him for cables for another class, he like wouldn't help me out and stuff or make my life hard. Like, yeah, like literally like held a grudge.
I was my school's like AV guy. Like,
were you?
Yeah, because I grew up with like my dad had like a PA and had amps and stuff. So like I knew how to run a PA board since I was like 5.
Oh yeah, I could see that. You're like a genius with everything.
Well, the audio stuff I'm pretty good with because like I remember being very, very little, like very small, and like someone explaining like, well, these make the lower noises, these make the mid noises, the high noises. This is the volume. This is the left-right mix. And my school in like when I was in like 7th grade got like a brand new like $10,000 PA system, but nobody fucking knew how to run it. I'm like, I do. So I did it for like all the school assemblies or like the
that's really
like
cool.
Veterans Day assembly. I then DJ'd like all the middle school dances and stuff, which just consisted of bringing a 5-disc CD changer and then like telling everyone bring your CDs and then just request songs and I'll try to play as many as I can.
I wish back in my high school you were the guy at our high school because we started putting on like auditorium shows for the town. Like so we would just like rent out the auditorium. We'd put all local bands in there and it was kind of cool because the auditorium's like more like grandiose, you know what I mean? It's got the big stage and all the professional lights and everything. So for like a night, like a couple of the bands, the younger bands could feel like, you know, they're putting on a big show and we'd pack it. But I had the 1987X Marshall, you know, the one that is the vintage wattage and you have to crank it in order to get the distortion. So they could never mic it. So I would have to always turn it around backwards and play it backwards. So it'd be echoing off the wall.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me let it like face towards the crowd because they couldn't mic it. It was too hot. They'd always be like yelling at me, like, turn it down. You don't have to turn it down. You're not Bruce Springsteen. Turn it down. I'm like, no, you have to crank it in order to get the noise. I'm like, oh, this fucking
It's a tube amp, dipshit.
Yeah, they're like, this fucking kid, he's got such an attitude problem. Like they thought it was like such a dipshit.
No, it's like literally if you have a tube amp and you're using the amp distortion, you're not using a distortion pedal, you have to fucking crank the gain.
And I had a hot plate on it. And basically what a hot plate is it eats the ohms. So like you have like all this like crazy wattage coming out of this, making this thing like sound loud. And it was supposed to give it the same aggressiveness, but make it muted. That thing, I don't know what it did.
Yeah, it's an attenuator. Basically, it just like soaks up a lot of the power going through it. So like, you're still
even there
getting
though.
The breakup of the tubes, but you're not actually pushing all of that into the cab.
But it's like, it's so like your human ear, like once you get to a certain level of loud, there's no more louder. So like it never brought it down lower than that. Like, you know, like when you get like a Marshall JCM, like not a tube, what are they? I'm losing my mind right now.
They're solid state?
Yeah, solid state. I was going to say plexi, but I was like, that's not the right word. Solid state. So when you get a solid state, like you can put it at 2 and like you'll get like feedback. You know what I mean? It's like very like low. Like you can't do that with a tube amp. Like you can't.
No. Yeah, tube amps, like literally the way that they make distortion is by overloading the tubes in the circuits.
Yeah, it's like a plane. You got to get that jet engine going in order to get it to move.
Yeah, it's literally the distortion from those amps is literally the sound of it being too loud. Yeah. It's like if I yell into this microphone right now as loud as I can, it starts to distort. That's exactly how a Marshall like tube amp works.
Oh yeah. So like I wish you were there. Like you would have been able to figure it out. We always had horrible sound at those shows because of it.
Oh man, I don't miss high school.
No. No. I'm trying to think if you wouldn't go back to high school knowing what you know now?
I would, and I would have graduated.
You would just actually get out right away? Like you would do graduation in like 2 weeks?
No, I didn't graduate high school. I have a GED. I dropped out in my senior year because I'm like, well, I ain't going to make it across this finish line.
That's funny, man. So you just
every
dropped
test.
out.
I pissed off every teacher because they're like, you know the stuff, but you have to do your homework. And I'm like, no.
Right. No, that's so weird. So
I was so fucking bitter though. Like I was so angry and I was like, I literally thought everyone who decorated their locker was a dipshit. I was like, oh wow, way to put up stuff in your cell to make yourself feel comfortable.
You know what's funny though? Like I'm kind of like that now. So it's like we swap.
I'm still like that with like my like desk at work and stuff. Like I have one picture of my daughter and my wife and then like nothing else. Like this is not home. This is not a career. This is not a career. Fuck, I'm 30. This is a career.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But no, that's so you would go back though.
Yeah, no, I'm not big on regrets though, because like I like where I'm at. Like every mistake I've made, like I have my daughter, you know, wish I had more money, but you always wish you had more money to be more comfortable. But like I like where I am. Yeah. Everything that sucked along the way I had to do to get here. Cause like it's that butterfly effect thing. Like you change one little thing.
Right. Who knows? Everything else unravels.
Like if I didn't meet my wife when I was 15, I'd be dead by now from like meth. because I wouldn't have moved out of Mason City. I would have hung around with the same fucking dipshits. I would have gotten into way more trouble with the law.
Yeah,
like,
no, she definitely changed your course in that sense.
Oh yeah, dating her and then like staying with her saved my life. Because like I still am surprised I'm alive at 30 because I never planned to be. I didn't plan to die, but I didn't make plans for what happens after you get old.
Right.
Like, you know, but having someone in my life from like 15 on, because I started dating her at 15, like it gave me enough of like something to care about. So like I cared about consequences because I never cared about myself. Like it's not even low self-esteem. I never cared about me. But having someone else in my life that like I care about and I care about affecting really helped me not do really, really stupid shit in life.
Yeah, no, I get that. It totally grounded you and like gave you like a sense of wanting to move forward. That makes sense.
Yeah, because like there's like I like basically like I was very lucky from a young age to have something to lose. Because like there's nothing more dangerous than an angry fucking white kid in Iowa with nothing to lose.
No, especially the size of you. You're like a lineman, a football lineman.
Yeah, for a long time, especially like in my early 20s, my biggest fear was like killing someone.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. You're like the type of like guy I could see like you hit somebody and you don't realize like their head comes off. You're like, oh shit.
Have you ever seen Sin City?
Yeah, of course.
There's a scene where I think it's Bruce Willis's character beats up, I think it's Elijah Wood's character, and he's punching him and then there's just like a puddle.
I forgot Elijah Wood is in that.
He's just fucking hitting him. And like that scene, like when I saw that, I'm like,
pounds him to a pulp.
That's literally my fear. It's just like I wouldn't stop. Like I had a really bad temper. I have a very deeply ingrained sense of like justice. Like it's not me. Like it was never if someone did something to me, but like I saw someone go after one of my friends, or if I ever saw someone like not treat a woman right, because I was raised very strongly on like old school kind of bullshit of like you have to protect women, because I had younger sisters and there was something that was put in my head a lot as a kid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like that's your whole purpose. So like those are the only times I've really fucking hurt somebody is when someone else was the victim.
So you're more
very
of a
very much like a sheepdog personality. But like I don't know, I'm not angry enough anymore. Like I don't really lose it like that. But like when I was younger, I got in a lot of fights, a lot of fist fights over stupid shit.
I've never been in a fight.
No, I can't imagine you in a fight.
I've had people that want to fight me, but I've never been in a fight.
I can imagine you in a Twitter fight.
Oh yeah, I used to bicker all the time. Like not on Twitter. I used to do it on LiveJournal.
Yeah, like I can imagine you I can imagine you trying to cut someone as deep as you can with words.
Yeah, I used to like to dissect, or like I would always like there would be like clubs that we would because I would do some of the booking, especially a lot of the regional stuff, and like I would always get like little pissing matches with the club, and like I would like to just go with the back and forth. Oh, those are the days.
Because like you're not short, you're like average height, but you've always to me had I'm guessing you were very small as a kid, because you've always had the personality of me to someone who's like not physically intimidating, so you had to always be quick on your feet. You always had to be like think quick. That's always the impression I got of you. It's like you were the kid that would like, you know, you were smaller, so you were never going to fight someone at school.
Oh yeah. No, it was good. Like if you can be quick on your feet and you can outthink them, like, you know, you can, and sometimes too, that helps being a little bit with funniness. Then you can get out of situations and, you know.
Yeah, like that, because like that's a lot of where your humor comes from. My humor comes more from like just like social anxiety.
Yeah.
But but I haven't like, you know, I need to backtrack. I've never killed anybody, and I'm not like throwing,
I was about to say, is Aaron going to admit to a murder? This is going to be amazing.
I haven't punched anything but drywall since I was 19. So,
yeah, no, I that's good, man. You want to stay away from hitting people. That's never good.
Yeah, you know that I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I haven't punched a wall or like gotten angry enough to like break something in that way. Because like I once punched out like my car window. Like I was just mad, and I literally just punched through the window of like my.
Oh, you actually broke it?
Yeah, through my Chevy Blazer. Like I was so angry when I was young.
That's so good. Like you have to be pretty good at punching to do that, because like they sell like tools in hardware stores that are like the little metal spikes that will do that. But in order for a human,
I put all my weight into it, and I was just pissed.
I believe it.
But like I always hated when someone was like, "Why don't you just punch a pillow?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. When I punch something when I'm angry, it's because I want something to break. I want to make change in the world." Because
you need that
anger,
tension release.
Like someone told me this like a long time ago. Like anger is just you being upset that you can't control something.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's the manifestation of that.
I was like, "Oh, that's real. That makes sense."
You know what? Like, this was a band I wanted to talk about tonight, and I think you are a long lost fan. You would have liked them if you would have just listened to them, given them a chance. But I want to talk about Census Fail real quick. The screamo band.
But they wore tight jeans, John. They wore the tightest jeans.
Yeah, but you're so angry, and they're so angry too. I think you might have found some
resolution
resolution in them.
I had a lot of anger, but like I had a temper. I wasn't necessarily angry, but I had a temper because like I always think of like anger as metal, but I never liked metal. I'm like, that's too angry.
That's fair. I can see that. Like I think like Metallica, that's kind of anger.
Yeah, or like Slayer. Like I like Slayer. The Slayer's more thrash, but like real heavy metal stuff. Like I don't know. I never like was like just always pissed off and angry. I just had a very short fuse, and I had a deeply ingrained sense of justice.
Yeah, no, I mean I totally get that. The Census Fail thing. So I wanted to see what you thought about this. So we talked about Census Fail a few times on other episodes. You had some guys in your band that liked them. You kind of thought they were lame. They were really big when I was in high school. This
is one of the times where I pulled the John Bryan, where I'm like, I don't like your jeans and I don't like your hair, so I don't like your music.
That's a band though. That's fair. That's fair though. I could see it with them. They're kind of polarizing. Like you either.
Let me pull up a picture just to make sure I'm thinking of the right band.
Oh, you are. You're 100%. It's either them or Hawthorne Heights you're thinking of, but I would say they probably fall into the same category. Yeah.
Cut my wrist and black my eyes.
Cut my wrist and black my eyes. So bad.
My favorite thing about Hawthorne Heights is in the music video for Ohio is for Lovers. There's random fucking camera shots of a spider in a spider web for no fucking reason.
That's so funny. I never even like watched any of their music videos or anything. I have to go check that out now. It's just like keeps coming onto a spider. Like, what do you think? It was like the director just wanted a spider in there? Like almost like that Kevin Smith story?
I almost want to pause and we just together watch that music video.
Let's do it.
All right. You ready to hit play? We're going to do live commentary.
Okay, so just give me 1 second. I'm just pulling it up right now. Okay, I'm ready whenever you are, Aaron.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we're watching the video here, and we're seeing some spider webs. Oh, here's the band. We got our Gibson. How many guitarists do we have, Aaron?
I don't know. I didn't count the sperm.
They're like a ska band. There's like 6 of them.
Who's the fuck this little girl? For no fucking reason, there's a little girl.
Yeah, that's supposed to be creepy, like The Shining or something. But she looks like Matilda. Look at the bassist. Oh my god, these guys are so
spider for no reason.
It's just like I don't get like the I don't.
It's the random camera shots of a little girl in like a red dress, but it also has like the fake grainy effect put over it.
Yeah, it's like all the grunge distortion.
This is so coming through your microphone.
Oh, 100%.
'Cause you kill me.
The thing with this band is like the main singer, he doesn't need the guitar. He only has the guitar, so he doesn't have to be a singer.
He only has the guitar as a prop. Like he literally hits like 2 chords at the beginning of the chorus and then he's done.
Yeah, and like right now he's like palm muting and stuff and like okay, but like he doesn't need the guitar. It's literally just so he doesn't have to do anything singing. Well, at least that's what I think. I like that guy. That guy looks like Paul Giamatti. The one guitarist.
He looks like he knows he's going to end up in an office job.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's passed, sadly. Rest in peace.
Oh, man, I feel bad. I didn't know that.
Don't do pills, kids.
I also love the microphone hanging from the ceiling. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like so silly. And like even like make it an old-timey microphone. You know what I mean? Don't make it it's not even a Shure 58. It's like a Shure 57.
No, it's a 58. It's not the old.
Oh yeah.
What the
it doesn't have the grill on it. That's right. It doesn't have a silver grill.
Also, if you know anything about microphones, you know talking into the side of them is a terrible sound.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just random spider webs. Spider webs.
How many Gibsons are in this band, Aaron? I see 1 SG, 2 SGs. Do we have 3 SGs?
No, one of them's playing a Strat.
Okay, so we have a Strat, 2 SGs. I was gonna say maybe the bassist is playing an SG too.
He's playing a Music Man.
I like the drummer there. The drummer looks like an All-American reject.
Okay, I can't watch any more of this. There's still
we're done.
A whole minute of this song, and it's literally the same thing.
God, I mean, that's a great band, though. I'm really happy for them. That was like that was when like I felt like things were starting to get a little too manufactured. I was like they're like taking like because like when you're that band like Hawthorne Heights, you don't create that as like we're gonna take advantage of like this screamo stuff. But definitely Victory Records is like we're gonna put this out.
So bad.
Yeah.
Cut my wrists in black. Fucking, it's the worst, John. They're terrible. They are terrible.
I don't think. Yeah, terrible. I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think the writing's good. I don't think the music's good. I don't think the image is good. They were huge. They were headliners.
I don't like to. Yeah. That's a real test of merit. like, here's the thing. I don't like to offend people because I know every band is somebody's favorite band. But if your favorite band is Hawthorne Heights, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you on that. But also, too, like, this is like one of their first songs. So, this is almost like taking Josie or something and like, ripping it apart. But even that was a great song, though. Josie was like, you could tell like that was like a talented band.
Yeah. Or like Hawthorne Heights is literally everything I hated in high school. The fucking haircuts, the jeans.
Yeah, the whole feeling.
The screamo.
So back to then Senses Fail, which is kind of the same. Like, I was on the other side. I liked Senses Fail. I really liked them. Like, they were big influential on my band too. So when they got signed to Drive Thru, they put out an EP and it was really, really big. It had 6 songs on it. One of them was like 187. The other one was Steven. There was a bunch of like, little singles off of it. And it was an amazing EP. And then after that, they came out with a bunch of full lengths. They just re-released the EP, Aaron. Like, not 20 years later. It's like the EP came out in like 2002. They just re-released it in 2019, but they re-recorded it.
Didn't we talk about this at one point?
I don't know. It sounds like something I would have definitely have brought up. I don't think we talked about it though.
I don't know if we've recorded it, but I remember you telling me about like the singer.
Yeah,
like,
I told you about it because I wanted to talk about it in the future episode. But I think it's still something like I want you to.
I listen.
Yeah. But like, what do you think about that? Like, and obviously, I want you at some point to listen to them both. But like, it's like they basically like when they recorded the first EP, it's like kind of sloppy. His singing isn't the best. I like I said, I like Buddy, and maybe we did talk about this. Now, like, I feel like I'm having deja vu.
In our defense, we took like a 3-year break, so whatever.
No, it couldn't have been from 3 years ago because like the new EP only came out in 2019. So maybe we didn't talk about it. Anyway, I'm gonna go through with it anyway. If we already talked about this, just don't listen. If you're this far into the episode and we've already talked about it, you can turn it off.
If you're still here, 2 things: thank you and sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But
so is it like better record? Like, but it's literally he didn't change any parts; he just re-recorded it.
It's like, to me, it's very like George Lucas-y, like where he started like taking the old Star Warses and like kind of like what was bad about them made them good, and then like cleaning it up. Like, so it was like a vanity project. Like they re-recorded all the music. The music is like super tight, and it wasn't bad to begin with. It was very organic sounding the first time.
You know how I feel about George Lucas, or not George Lucas. You know how I feel about Star Wars, but I do know that Han shot first because every fucking nerd in the world tells you.
Yeah, so we're told.
But it's like that. It's like where he like went. Like he basically went back. It's like E.T. where they went back and like photoshopped out all the guns and replaced them with like walkie-talkies.
Yeah, and like ultimately, it's probably something like a licensing reasoning as to why he re-recorded it. Maybe it was like if he re-recorded it before 2020, he got to keep the rights or something. Who knows?
Well, like re-recording and putting it out now, he gets all like the stream money from that if they play that version.
But like let me put it into like an analogy so people listening can easily understand it. And I think we could riff with it a little bit better. It would be like if like George Lucas put out Star Wars in 1977. I'm not saying Census Fail's EP is Star Wars, okay? But like, let's say George Lucas is, 1977. Let's say he re-filmed it today because he wanted to use the technology today. How would people feel about that with the director making the exact same movie shot for shot today?
But here's the thing. It'd be like using the same actors though too, because like if he didn't change a single part.
Well, I don't know how that would work because I guess maybe you would
I'm going way too deep on this analogy.
No. Let's do it. Let's dig deep here because this wasn't an angle. If we did already do this, like this isn't the angle we had last time. But like, so how would that be?
This isn't this, like you wouldn't say this is equal to Star Wars, so you're not saying it's overrated.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm saying, like
I like that pause where you just let people figure out my Twitter handle.
Yeah. So but you know what I'm saying? It's like a classic movie that came out in the 80s, and then the director is now re-releasing it now, but like he redid it. It's kind of weird.
I mean, no one makes you listen to it, so I mean, say la vie, you can do whatever you want, but like at the same time, true. I've never been like these people are like, it disrespects the history or disrespects the fans. I'm like, don't watch it. Like Rancid's my favorite band. I don't own their last 3 albums. They weren't for me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how would you feel if like there was only like one member left in Rancid and like everybody else had quit and they're out of the game, and now he's got like people on tour with him, and then he's now re-recording like classic Rancid albums? Wouldn't you be like, why are you doing that, dude? Like, why do you need to do that?
Be like, it's a little sad, a little weird. There's literally the Vandals. Well, they didn't re-record classic albums, but the only original member of the Vandals in the Vandals is Joe Escalante. It's like one of those bands that's been around for like 30 years, so like the original lineup, there's only one dude left.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he just keeps trucking.
It would be weird. I would definitely agree it's weird. I'd be like, do you need money? Like,
yeah, that's what I was like. That was my whole thing is like, I don't think it was bad. I listened to it. I thought it was like, I was like, okay, that's unique. I don't think anybody else is going to do this. I don't think like somebody's be like, oh, that's a great idea. Now every other band.
But didn't you say he took everyone else's writing credits off the re-release and put only himself?
I don't know. I got to look into that. I wouldn't be, I mean, if he did, that'd be weird.
I remember that being like your punchline of it before of like, it was just a big middle finger to the rest of the band.
No, I think you're confusing. There was another episode we talked about Save Ferris, and in Save Ferris,
it was this band because I remember not being as interested because I didn't have any.
No, I don't know.
I just remember something about the writing credits being weirder. I don't know. Be something else you told me about. I listen. I just don't remember.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just like thinking about it today, and I was like re-listening to them, and I was like, it's so weird that he did that. I guess it's not really that big of a deal, but it's very unique. I don't think I've never heard of another band doing anything like that.
Oh man, I feel bad that saying going so hard at Hawthorne Heights. It's like, it's okay to like them. Like, there's things I like that I know aren't like great music. Like,
well, that was too. Like, did they ever become good? Like, maybe they matured up. Like, I never heard anything about them past that first album. Maybe like their second album is not as cheesy.
Well, literally the only thing I know about them, like that's the only song of theirs that like I could hear and know it's them. But it's also, it has 22 million plays on YouTube. I imagine it's their biggest song.
Oh yeah, definitely is. It definitely is.
But then at the same time, I will endlessly defend like Smash Mouth's first album, even though I will not comment on the rest of Smash Mouth's career.
It's a good album, Aaron. Yeah, that first album's really good.
Or like, I will endlessly defend Bowling for Soup and be like, yeah, 1980 or 1985 is annoying and almost was really overplayed, but like the rest of that album is incredible.
I was never into Bowling for Soup. I'm not really that familiar with them.
I like that album. I think I've listened to some of their other stuff, but Hangover You Don't Deserve, which had Almost and 1985, which were like massive hits, but like the rest of that album is really good. I really like.
They're when we were talking before about the Wonder Years, like earlier on in the episode, one of the reasons why I like the Wonder Years was there's a band that I like, you hate, The Starting Line, and the Wonder Years, when I was listening to them, like he reminded me of like a very raw Kenny, which was the singer from The Starting Line, and like it's like I can't tell if it's like one of those things where maybe it does kind of sound like that or it's just in my head, but like it would almost remind me of like listening to like Starting Line demos. I was like, oh, this is like almost like before The Starting Line got big, like this is what they sounded like.
Wait, who reminds you of The Starting Line?
The Wonder Years, when I first started listening to them.
Oh, like, don't say that, because I want to like the Wonder Years.
No, that's but are there any bands for you? Because like I remember when Fall Out Boy was really, really big, and then Panic at the Disco came out. For a second there, I couldn't differentiate the two bands. I was like, this is the same band, just they had like techno in it.
Yeah, I literally had a hard time telling Brandon Urie apart from Patrick Stump.
Yeah, and then eventually, like now it's almost like, like when you first meet identical twins, you're like, who's who? And then now you're like, oh, that's that and that's that one. But like for a while there, I couldn't separate the two.
Yeah, or like I remember being... I don't know if I've said this before, but I remember my dad saying like he thought Sum 41 sounded exactly like Blink-182, and I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They're so different.
Right. But like, that's what I want to know is like in that moment, if you had your dad's life experiences and perspectives, does he actually hear two similar bands, or is he just trying to get a rise out of you? You know what I mean?
Well, that's possible. That's very possible.
The same way, I was going to say like the same way with Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco, where like they legitimately to me sound the same for a second.
They sing in a very similar register, and like honestly, that first Panic album, or like especially I Write Sin's Not Tragedy, like you can tell he's trying to sound like Fall Out Boy, so like they would notice them.
Oh yeah, that's fair. There was a band
their later catalog, which by the way, I didn't know this for a long time until recently. Like Panic at the Disco's catalog, outside of that first big hit, because like that was also, I knew that song by them, and I'm like, well, that's that band. But like Brandon Urie is an incredible singer and songwriter, and a lot of their other stuff is really fucking good.
Yeah, no, he's very musically talented, and the other guitarist before he quit, he was like their main songwriter with Brandon. I forget his name, but
in my mind, like Panic at the Disco is just Brandon Urie. Like it's one of those bands where it's just a person.
It was two of them at once. Like when they first started, they had like a duo. It was almost like a McCartney-Lennon type of thing, where it was the guitarist and him were very, very like, together writing. But he eventually left.
Oh, that brings me to something I was thinking about the other day. between you and I, who's Paul and who's John? Like, who's McCartney, who's Lennon? 'Cause I know my answer, but I'm not gonna. I want to see what you think.
I mean, are we going by like personality?
Yeah, or just like personality type. Yeah, because obviously I play bass and you're a guitarist, so like.
Yeah, I mean personality. Like I would say you're Paul McCartney and I'm more John Lennon-ish.
Yep, that's my answer.
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. You're very likable, Aaron.
I just like simple pop songs where I feel
like simple pop songs, Mom.
But you would get into like some weird shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do avant-garde weird shit.
I got Yoko in the corner going, yeah.
I could also see you like meeting a girl and just like letting her tell you what to do if it was the right girl.
I get attracted to bitchy women. So.
Well, you could say powerful women, but that
I mean they're not powerful. So nope. That's not correct.
I think it's funny that we said the same thing, but I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, no, he'd definitely be Lennon because he would say something to get shot over.
Yeah, no, I just think you're very likable, Aaron. You're very likable.
The record, I laugh at my own jokes because I say them before I hear them, and then I'm like, that was a horrible thing to say.
I bumped into Sean Lennon on over by the Dakota like a year ago.
Oh, really?
Just walking along, and boop, he's on the same block as me. I was like, holy shit.
You know what's incredible is that you would recognize Sean Lennon.
Oh yeah. I see people all the time, man.
No, I don't know what he looks like.
He looks like John Lennon. Like you look up, it's like a Japanese American version of John Lennon.
I mean, that describes half of Brooklyn. You either have a beard or you have a Beatles haircut, and you have a moleskin notebook in your pocket. Either way, some are writing down cider recipes, other ones are learning to play ukulele.
Now I got to look up which Lennon I saw.
I did laugh once. I was on the L train. The L train goes to like the Brooklynist part of Brooklyn, or like white Brooklyn.
Yeah, Williamsburg.
Yeah, I was on there once. I
Hipsterville.
literally saw like 4 different people writing into a moleskin notebook. I'm like, oh my god,
that's so cool.
I could make so much money selling stocking hats outside this train.
Yeah, it was Sean that I saw, not Julian.
No, it wouldn't be Julian, because Julian was with his first wife. He wouldn't be around the Dakota.
Yeah, Julian also isn't half. That's why I wanted to make sure. I was like, he looks like a Japanese American version of John Lennon. I wanted to make sure it was the right one.
Yeah, I walked by I was at when I did construction for a little while when I first moved to the city. I did construction for cash under the table, redoing kitchens with some dude that I met on Craigslist. He paid me cash, and then he stopped paying me. Then I stopped working.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
But we redid a kitchen in the Dakota for somebody.
Wow, that's pretty cool. How was it in there?
It's fancy. Oh, it's fancy.
Yeah. You know why it's called the Dakota?
I think you told me. Didn't like some dude, this was like before the Upper West Side was real fancy, and he was trying to prove that the Upper West Side could be fancy?
Yeah, so basically a developer bought the land up there because he predicted that, the land values would go up with Central Park being, available. And they were like, you might as well just invest in like the states, like the Dakotas, like just go out there and put your money because you're wasting it. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to name it the Dakota.
It's so fucked to think about how like a brownstone in the Upper West Side in like the 80s like was like affordable for like a plumber.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
And now if you want to live in Manhattan and own it, you like your dad had to invent banks.
Yeah, well, yeah, so many people get pulled into the city, So it's like pushed out all the normal people. It's
too
bad.
It's going to change now that a lot of the businesses aren't going to have people work in office anymore, and a lot of the commercial like real estate is going to be totally dicked.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very similar moment in the city. Like you remember the squad houses in the 80s, that whole punk movement that came out of it.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see something like that. It's gonna be pretty cool. New York's gonna get fun again.
I've been thinking a lot about quarantine, and I think I should have said this earlier in the show before people turned it off after I insulted Hawthorne Heights. But
yeah, god damn it, Aaron. Like we have a fan base. Like let's stop going after their number one.
First I make fun of Yellow Card, and then Hawthorne Heights, and now
we just come out swinging.
What was I going to say? Oh, after this quarantine, like a year from now, we're going to have an amazing musical renaissance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
All these people like stuck at home, like it's going to be incredible.
Do you think like new people learning instruments, or do you just think like people just like being like pent up?
Both. I think it's going to be musicians who've been stuck at home. I think it's going to be people learning instruments. Like the price of musical instruments, like used musical instruments this year has like gone insane. Like
yeah, they would have been a good investment.
Yeah, Fender is like super fucking like way out of like stock of everything.
I was in a Guitar Center the other day. I was kind of shocked with the prices. They were a lot higher than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, dude, because like they're just printing money right now because so many like instruments are selling like crazy, and I think we're going to see a lot of amazing music in the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that, especially too with all the devastation to the economy. That's usually going to create like some scenes. Scenes are going to grow. They're going to super grow bands. It's like a fertilizer. You're going to see some cool stuff coming out of it. Some interesting stuff.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to hit up, or?
I don't think so, man. I covered the Wonder Years. That's a great song. Go check it out. Great band. One of my favorite bands. Awesome pop punk band.
Oh, I did want to try a new segment with you.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I realize like I'm not old. I'm literally turning 31 this week, but like I feel old. Like I don't feel 20 anymore. Like I literally went from feeling like 19 since I was 19 until just instantly feeling 30.
Well, number one, happy birthday. But number two, so this one feels different to you. It feels like you're crossing a ledge.
Yeah. Well, it's not this birthday. It's just like since I had Charlie, and I just like I feel like I do dad shit now. Like I watch videos on woodworking for hours on YouTube.
So funny out in your cabin.
But I also realized I have all this like random knowledge of stuff that's like not important and will never be useful. So I wanted to do a segment where I teach John some useless information.
Oh, sure. I would love to learn some useless information from you.
We need a jingle. If there was a jingle, it means I wrote it. But if you want to send in a jingle. Yeah. Jingle about I teach John something useless. If you want to send in a jingle, let me know. You can find me on Twitter, podpunkshow on Twitter. Anyway, here's some useless information. Do you know why all radio stations in the U.S. start with W or K?
No, I have no idea. And actually, this is a great thing for me to know. Let me guess, though. A W or a K. So if I had to guess, it's almost like that's like an address signification. Okay.
It is assigned.
So I'm going to say the W is on AM and the K is on FM.
Oh, but there is a difference between the two, though. So
okay, what's the difference?
There was 4 letters assigned. They're basically back in the old days of radio. There was like a bunch of companies, a bunch of countries came together to like kind of formalize a system for call letters for radio stations. Mm-hmm. And the United States got the letter K, W, A, and N for the call signs, for the 3 or 4 letter call signs for radio stations. A and N in the U.S. are only used for military stuff.
Oh, so those are the private ones.
Yeah, but the way they're split up is that everything east of the Mississippi is W.
And everything west is K.
Yeah, so that's why you hear like K-Rock in California.
Do you know how dumb I am? I thought K-Rock was stationed out in New York because of Howard Stern.
No, yeah, they're
makes perfect sense
LA.
now. Yeah, and that makes sense too because we've talked in the past. Yeah, I was going to say, but we've talked in the past. K-Rock has been very influential to any like Southern California band.
Yeah, because like I always knew like because all the TV stations in Northern Iowa like KIMT or the radio station KLSS, like those were they all started with K, except an old AM radio station out of Des Moines was WHO. And so there's a handful of exceptions on each side of the Mississippi that use K or W where they normally wouldn't because they existed before these rules were formalized.
So they're grandfathered in when they get their own like type of thing.
And that was Aaron Knows Something Useless.
Something useless.
Do send something in if you want to write something for that because I don't.
Yeah, please do because my jingle sucks. Like,
I'm too busy writing bad bluesy backing tracks for fake ads.
Yeah, you're too busy getting into it.
But you feel good?
I feel good, man. I feel great. So that was it. We're almost out of Ska-tober, and we just want to wish you a happy Ska-tober.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we didn't talk about ska this week.
That's right. It was a nice little refresher. You know what? Let's keep it with that. And then I'm really sorry we didn't get to Dave Grohl. So we're going to make sure that we do our segment on Dave Grohl next week. Definitely,
Big love, Dave. Big love.
Big love to Dave Grohl. All right. That's going to be it for this week. I'm John Bryan.
I'm Aaron Haag.
Stay punk.
But it's weird when you go first.
Well, let's hold on real quick. We'll do let's do it the right way then, because I don't know. Let's do it the other way. So you say you're Aaron Haag, Chris, and I say I'm John Bryan. Then you say stay punk.
Yeah, that's normally how we would do it.
I thought I said I'm John Bryan. You go and I'm Aaron Haag. Stay punk.
Oh no, we always went bop bop bop.
Okay, that's cool with me. Let's do it that way then. Let's keep it the same way. All right, just give us a clap.
Take 2.
All right, I'm John. Hold on. Sorry, man. I'm fucking out of it. All right, let's go.
I'm Aaron Haag.
And I'm John Bryan.
Stay punk.